Hey there, welcome to Momming on the Daily. It's Motivational Monday with
Kelly
and Marina. Tonight we're going to be talking about you're exactly who you were created to be. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've been seeing it a lot lately with the social media, where we want to be like everyone else, or we want to change, or somebody wants to change us to fit into the group or to fit into whatever is going on. Hi, Light Bright. How are you? Good to see you. You know, we try to fit in, or we allow people to change us to be who we want them to be, who they want us to be. And in that process, we lose ourselves. We see the Instagram reels, those are just the snapshots of what they want you to see, right? Or we may be dating someone and they may want to change us to who they want us to be. But you are who you were created to be. You don't have to change for anyone to fit in. Are you there, Kel?
Yeah, no, you went out and came all the way out and came all the way back in.
You did?
No, you did.
I did?
Like literally the screen went to like Zoom and then it bounced me completely out and then it came back in and brought me back in.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize, because I could see I didn't change on my side.
Oh.
So Light Bright is here with us.
Oh, great. We were talking about you earlier today.
Yeah, we were.
We missed you.
We said we missed you the other day, Light Bright. So talking about, you are exactly who you were created to be. We don't have to change for anyone. If we have flaws, yes, we need to correct those, fix those to make us a better version of ourselves. But to change who we are to fit into others, or to fit into the stereotype or the group, or that they want you. And I'm finding this a lot, seeing it a lot with young girls. I'm always scouring the social world to see what's going on out there. And it's really sad that so many people are forgetting to just be who they were created to be, and trying to fit in where they're not supposed to. We're all created for, like, we all have friends for seasons, parts of our lives. But it doesn't mean that we have to change who we are to fit in, to be somebody that they think we should be, or a partner thinks we should be, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. We should not have to change who we are to make them happy.
Correct. And you get lost sometimes, and then I don't like Maureen, like you were saying, like on social media and this and that, and everybody's like, oh, do that. No, just be you. Just be you all the time. And everybody's not going to like you. No matter who you are, everybody's not going to like you. And there's always going to be mean and doubters and all. That's why you find your tribe, you find your group, and then you hang with them. And none of us are perfect and all. Like, I always laugh, like, I'm a very fast driver, you might say.
You say?
A few people might say that. And stuff like that. And it's funny, Marina will say to me, yes, but you're in the rush. Doesn't mean the person in the other car is in a rush. That's on you. It's not on them. Like, you're the one. I'm like, oh, but you try and figure out, like Marina and I, everything's different. Marina and I pretty much are complete opposites on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we love being with each other because we both see things differently. And I don't sit there and say, oh, why do you do it that way, or judge her on that? I'm like, oh, thanks for showing me that way. I'm just going to still do it my way, or I like my way, but I'm glad to see it your way too. And some things I'm saying, oh, I like that better. I'm going to switch over and do that with you. But I don't change who I am to be friends with Marina. Like, she goes to church a lot more often than I do. Do we have conversations about faith and things and spiritual things, and I think we do. But I'm not going to tell her, well, why are you going to church? Why are you doing that? Why are you helping that? That's her choice, and I respect her, and that's why we're friends, because it's called respect. It's respecting the other person. As long as they're not harming anyone, you need to respect them who you are. And some of those people you're going to enjoy hanging out with, and some of them you're not, and that's okay too. Keep moving through. You're going to go through a lot of people in your life, and
Yeah.
some will stay and stick with you, and some will go. And when I moved down here 4 years ago, Marina and I were talking, and then we went for like a sabbatical, and maybe 6 months or so. Like, we just couldn't touch base. She's like, what are you doing? And we were just too busy. We didn't connect for a while. But then we picked up and right where we were before. You know what I mean? Because you get busy with life.
We didn't even lose time.
Yeah, but just because we didn't talk for a while, because we were both getting, I was trying to get settled crazy, and she was dealing with a lot of stuff with her mom and stuff like that. And then we were able to reconnect again. But it's because we're always genuine who we are.
Exactly. So like Bright wrote, I put my husband out because I refuse to suppress who I am and my joy any longer. I'm absolutely inflexible. I feel so free now. It's incredible to be able to be my wonderful self without having to pay a price to do so. Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to. And I'm seeing these young girls. Matter of fact, my cousin's granddaughter is living with her. And she's like, I'm like, she's like a chameleon with whoever she's around, because she's just trying to fit in or trying to blend in or be like one. She's probably not comfortable in her own skin. It comes with age, I think, maturity. You become comfortable in your own skin. But there's also, I'll be honest with you, I'm that personality that I never tried to fit in with anyone. I never did. If I wasn't accepted where I am, I just moved along. I didn't have a set group that I hung out with, even though I played sports, but I didn't hang out with everybody who played sports. I hung out with a bunch of different people. And my husband and I are really different.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really different. And he's never tried to change me. And I've tried to tweak him a little bit, only on his vocabulary.
Training and tweaking are different than changing.
Yeah, changing him. But it is.
No, we're not changing him. We're tweaking.
Tweaking. Yes, tweaking him.
Training and tweaking. But the core is what you love, and that's why you're together.
Right. So we do, we find even this isn't just a female thing. There's some boys out there will do some really dumb things just to get to get people to like them. And it's not something that he wanted to do. I've seen that too, where, they want to be in that group instead of creating your own group. I used to say to my kids, go create your own group. You don't have to be in with them. Then eventually they're going to want to be over here too. So then you just accept them and bring them in. But you don't have to change who you are to fit in or to be accepted. Just find your people. Find your people that are going to accept you for who you are and love you that way. There's never a time in the time that we've known each other, or I don't think I'm like that with any friend except maybe one, where I'm like, dude, you got to get your stuff together. But, and you know who that
I know who that friend is, and you're being a good friend by telling her to get her stuff together.
But I find that it's a lot better to find those stronger points than shining the light on the weaker points. We shine enough light on our weaker points, the things that we don't really care about ourselves. And a lot of times we beat up ourselves more than anyone else. Sometimes the other people don't even see those flaws. And we're like, oh, here's the spotlight right on this one and the spotlight on that one. Do we have to tweak ourselves? Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day I got to check myself at the door. check myself and make sure that I'm carrying myself the way I want to be. I want to carry myself, that I'm treating people the way I like to be treated and carry myself. We have to check ourselves at the door, but to change the human I am, no, not for
Yeah.
anybody.
And it won't last either. So you think,
Nope.
oh, I'm going to be this way. And then eventually it will catch up and you won't even know who you are, but you'll be miserable and you won't even know why you're miserable.
Correct. Because you're not
So,
who you're supposed to be.
yeah. And then you're going to get confused. Like, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? And all. And I just say I have a teenage daughter and she doesn't change for she's not going to change who she is. She's not a follower. She's a leader when she needs to be, but she's not that out. Now, out of my two, I have one that's gung ho and going to be a leader all the time, but the other one's going to not follow, but she's also not going to be that loud leader. She's just going to, be independent and strong enough and walk away on her own and do what she thinks is right, rather than to go with the mob mentality of everything else. And that's a big thing to teach our children right now, is not to go in with the mob mentality just to do it because everybody else is doing it.
Exactly. Especially with social media today. I mean, I find, when you had a disagreement with a friend when we were younger, it was between you and that friend. Maybe they would bring in one other person or another person. Now with text messaging and social media, they bring in the world. Yeah. And you no longer have, your life is on display, especially for these young people, because they find, thank you for the hearts. Thank you. They find that they're trying so hard to fit in, and they're trying so hard to be who they think they're supposed to be. And social media is showing them another way, and it's really confusing. And even adults like you moved to a whole new state and a whole different community compared to what we lived in here. Like Bright saying, I'm finding that our young people are not learning to be effective managers of their own emotions and actions. Absolutely. I agree 100% in that. A lot of them.
Yeah. Well, when we're out, when I'm at a school and I'm substituting and all, they were having a little dance for the middle school kids, like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And one of the kids is sitting there with the phone, and I go, you see that? That's not your life. Here, this is your life. That phone, that's person's life that you're watching. Stop watching their lives and trying to be like them. Do what's here in front of you.
Exactly.
And I think the social media is really confusing a lot of people.
I work with couples, every day I work with couples, either repairing their marriages or deciding what the next step is going to be, all those things. And I hear all the time, I go on Instagram and these women look so happy. Do you think they're going to show you them fighting with their husband? Do you think they're going to show you when they're miserable? Do you think they're going to show you when it's their time of the month and they're really PMSing and losing their mind with their children? Absolutely not. It's a highlight reel. And when people are so unhappy with themselves, they choose to look at that. And then that's a lot of burden on the other person that they're with. Because now the person, if it's the wife or the husband, whomever it is, or they're looking at this person's life that's supposed to be so beautiful and happy and all the things, and then they're putting the stress on the other person to create that life for them, and it just gets out of control. We are who we are, and we have to stand in the skin that we were given, and love ourselves for who we are.
Well, accepting and part of that is loving ourselves for who we are, but it's also accepting of everybody else who they are.
Exactly.
And don't try and change them. If you don't like the way that person is or the way that person makes you feel, then move on. Don't beat them up and try and change them so that it molds them so you guys can be together or be friends or whatever. Let them go and you go do your thing and find the right people to fit your puzzle.
Right.
Life is a puzzle. Right. Like, and we're, and you keep finding pieces that fit, and then you find pieces that don't fit, you know what I mean? And maybe they will later in life, maybe you'll bump into again, all, but for right now, that person's not clicking in your life.
Yeah. And I've had that happen where like I've run into somebody that I knew from my past. And they thought because we knew each other from our past that now we're just going to click again and
Click, yeah.
have this relationship. And it was like, how do you tell them? How do you tell her no? But it's just, you just exit stage left kind of, and not in a disrespectful or mean way. You
Yeah,
just
not
move,
hurtful at all.
yeah, you just move on. And I find that the more genuine we are in our own self, we start to find people who are as well in their own selves, if not already, that they're growing into that, which is also a beautiful thing.
Well, yeah, they're growing into themselves. And like I said, people are trying to figure it out too. Like
Right.
they're, and the thing is, that's why we don't want to change anyone. Or, so they fit into our mold. Oh, well, maybe if you were just like this, or maybe if you just did that or something like that. Well, they're not part of your tribe. Let them go. Let them go find their tribe that they work with well.
And where they'll be lifted up by other women instead of put down and not feeling good in their own skin. I mean, I've been around, I hate to say it, with family members. I didn't just get along in that group. And you feel like family, you have to, right? And then I was like, no, I don't. And then I was called quite a few names, and it was like, all right, I'll wear the badge. I know who I am. I'm not being rude. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just stepping away from it because I'm not going to stand here and gossip about the other one. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about this one's problem. I don't have time for it. And I remember coming
You don't
home.
want to make time for it.
Yeah. I came home and I said to Carmine, I'm like, I feel horrible because of how they were to me, because I'm not here to bash other people. I'm not here to gossip. I'm not here to talk about others. And then I'm like, but it's my family. Am I supposed to? And he's like, absolutely not. He's like, I'm the only one for my family in this country. And I get to pick and choose. I'm like, yeah, but you don't live next door. You don't live down the road like I do.
Yeah.
So it's really hard, even with family, but you can stand strong in family and let them know that that's not who you are. And I think we live in a real, I don't know. I just see mean girls all the time, even adult mean girls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's really sad, and I hate it. We should be lifting each other up. We should be encouraging each other. We should be sharing each other's good points and not making them feel like they have to be somebody else to be liked or loved. So I've just been seeing a lot of it, and that's why I'm bringing it up tonight. And I'm sure there's a lot more people out there that are feeling or seeing this as well. So if anybody sees it on the replay and you want to comment or have anything to add to it, please do, because we'd love to hear from you as well. What do you have to add, my friend?
Just like we were saying, that it's easier. It's kind of like, and this is another thing, like, it's kind of like parenting. Is it easier for us to let it go and slide now? It's easier than fighting with them and making rules and making them be depressed, I don't say depressed, making them be disciplined and taking things away or punishing them and blah, 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 blah. And we choose to do that because that's going to make them a better person in the long run. That they know, that there's consequences, things like that. And I kind of feel like you're saying, like the young people, like it's like that also. It's like they don't even know how to act kindly. And they're just real selfish and mean. And so, one of the kids at one of the schools I was at, they're like, well, we would be nice to them, but if they are, then those people are going to get mad at us. And if we're nice to them, then those people are going to get mad at us. So we just kind of not be friendly with anybody.
Sad.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Like, what do I do with that?
Right. Yeah, it's sad that they can't be friends with this one, and then they can't be friends with, they have to be friends with this one, or this one's going to get mad at them for that one.
Yeah.
Then they need to be in their own group. They need to
Well,
be in their own group. It's almost like, my little brother is Asperger's, but high functioning. He works, he went to college, he did all the things, right? But he was still picked on horribly in school. Horribly.
hardly. I'm sure Chris, I couldn't even imagine what he went through.
So, a lot of times he didn't want to go to school. So when my boys, because Nick's 3 years younger, so when my boys were going in, Chris was almost ready to go out.
Yeah.
Well, nobody, unless you were friends with my older son, you wouldn't know Christopher and Nick were related. So Nick would go sit at the table with him, or he'd high five Chris when he went by, bring attention to who Chris was. And not in a way we're saying this is my relative, but he would like high five him and stuff like that. Before you know it, these kids were high fiving Chris, and they saw how a great basketball player he was. And they were starting to see the things that Nick was drawing out of him without saying, hey, look, this is my uncle, and then he got a great following. Like, these kids started to like him. But did he go through hell? Yeah, for years when they weren't in school together. And it's sad because we shouldn't make kids that are different have to sit by themselves. We shouldn't make kids that are different, or even adults, in that matter. I mean, you're seeing, we could be anywhere and adults are out that are a lot different than we are.
Mm-hmm.
And just having a conversation with them. Like I shared with you, when I was at the Walmart, the man thanked me for talking with him. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm like, thanking me to having a conversation with you today. It's like, and then it makes you stop and realize what is going on with society.
Well, and it's funny, today in eighth grade classroom, I was subbing, and then another an administrator came in, and she said, I'm like, ask me anything, who did what, this again. Like, oh, I was like, they put mulch out at their church. That one hung out with her sister who's home from college. That was, they're like, Miss B, how could you remember all that and all like that? But it was funny. I was doing it on purpose because I wanted them to know that I heard them. I can hear you. Like, you guys just went around and told me you did this weekend, and now I can repeat back each one of you. I heard you today. So please listen to me. You know what I'm talking, like, like, yes, Ms. B. But I just think it's like, and these kids, please and thank you. They know I'm crazy about that, like, just manners.
And those are things that we're taught when we were little. Like, totally just learning before we walk. It's please and thank you. And we lose it in the midst of it all, which is kind of crazy, right? That we would lose it. But
yeah,
I don't know. But I just want to emphasize tonight, for Motivational Monday, you are exactly who you were created to be. Now, I'm the church goer, the Jesus believer, and Kelly, she'll go to church, but she's not as into it. You were created to be who you were. You are. There was no mistake in that creation. No mistake. So whoever's listening to this right now, or even on the replay, there's no mistake in who you are. If you can't find people who are going to love you that you do not have to change for, hey, I'm all for self-growth. If I know that I have a flaw, or maybe my, I need to change my attitude, I'm all for that. But I'm not going to change who I am, the person that I am, to fit in or to have somebody like me or love me.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, because you're the one who's going to get hurt in the long run, because you can't be your true self.
Mhm.
So you are exactly who you were created to be. Find that in yourself. Love that in yourself. Shine the spotlight on that and not on our
Yeah.
flaws. And try turning that spotlight around on other people. Shine on them, how they're bright and their good parts, not their bad parts. And love people for who they are. Don't expect them to be anybody other than who they are. That's my preaching tonight.
So she got it in there.
Well, I really didn't go to town, but I could have. No, I'm just kidding. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
As my grandma used to say, God don't make junk. My grandma always used to say it all the time. God don't make junk. I say, okay, Nona, okay. But it's right. He doesn't. We're not, none of us are junk. None of us are to be thrown away.
Oh.
So my grandma had that framed in her kitchen. Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Awesome.
That's cute.
My Nonna used to say it all the time. God don't make junk. So it's the truth. He doesn't. So we're here. What'd you say?
I never heard that before, but I think that's great.
Yeah. She used to always say it. You know, when you played sports and you played, you know, you were all those things, you could get down on yourself or this didn't happen. My grandma used to say, honey, God don't make junk. I'll say, okay, Grandma. She go, now go shine yourself up and get in the shower. So off we go.
That's cute.
The things you remember, right? So remember that God don't make junk.
I like that.
He created you to be exactly who you are. Do we have to tweak ourselves every once in a while? Absolutely, we all do. But to change ourselves for somebody else, absolutely not.
No.
So, well, thank you for joining us tonight. Awesome, Lightbright. Me too. I can absolutely say that I do love myself. Lightbright says she loves herself. Thank you for joining us. And we were just talking about you today.
Yeah. Thank you, Lightbright. Glad you came. Hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah. All good things I have. Awesome. Hope. Yep. Hope is a good thing. Keep us focused. So have a blessed night. Thank you for joining us. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thank you. We keep forgetting to say that.
Thank you. Oh yeah. Hit the bell.
Hit the
ding,
bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
Like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you're on YouTube.
Hit the bell.
If you're here on Podbean, don't forget to subscribe and follow. And we'll see you again on Wednesday. Thank you again. Be blessed. Good night.
Ciao for now.